VP Harris still says she's the candidate for the middle class, despite raking in $55 million at big money fundraisers in her home state of California over the weekend. This coming as California Senate candidate Adam Schiff flaunting Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown's record as a bipartisan senator who gets things done.
He has been enormously effective. There are a few people who have somehow managed to earn the respect of people on both sides of the aisle for their ability to work with others and get things done.
Bernie Moreno is running against Sherrod Brown, and he joins us now. Bernie, good morning to you. So your opponent got the endorsement of Adam Schiff, touting it on social media. How will that vote of confidence from a California Democrat play in Ohio?
Not very well. I mean, Ohio understands that people in California look down on people in Ohio. They think they're better than we are. They think they know how to run our lives. They think we should be driving electric vehicles, not have gas stoves. They look at us as the deplorables. They call us the Rust Belt, which is the ultimate insult, of course. And you have at the top of the ticket a San Francisco liberal, which basically is what Sherrod Brown is. You think about Sherrod Brown, he's really Gavin Newsom without the charm and a really bad haircut.
I was going to say something about the hair. I'm glad you did, because I don't have to go to HR today. But are you worried that the liberal California rich person is going to have an outsized impact in your race just because they're able to funnel so much money into your race in a state where they really shouldn't have any impact whatsoever, but they do because they got the bucks?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Sherrod Brown would not be able to run a campaign if it were not for money he's getting from California, New York, and Boston. He gets probably 80% of his money from there. So it is an impact from the money perspective. But the reality is, while Sherrod Brown's going to every corner of California to raise money, I'm going to every corner of Ohio to actually talk to voters, see what's on their minds. And they're concerned. They're actually very upset. You got an open border. We have almost 500,000 criminals that are coming to this country illegally. Some of them flown in on private jets by our government. You can't even imagine the treasonous act that they're doing that. So they understand that. They understand the high prices, and they understand that it's all because of Kamala Harris and Sherrod Brown's policy.
And you were just saying that the Senate race that you're in right now is going to be the most expensive Senate race in history. That's how important it is. And Fox News has labeled it a toss-up. And just about every poll has you and Sherrod Brown within the margin of error. So where do you see this race right now?
Well, you look at Sherrod Brown, he's not getting above 45 to 47%. He's underwater. People know who he is. They're sick and tired of him. He started in Moreno, Ohio as a state representative 50 years ago. Nixon was in the White House when he first ran for office.
He started in Lorraine?
Lorraine,
I did not know that. That's where my family's from.
Yeah, it's Lorraine's fault that they got Sherrod Brown, but Lorraine's going to fix that this time.
They're good people,
Yeah, let's be real. Lorraine gave us Carly Shimkus directly, so we thank the fine folks of Lorraine, because I'd be very lonely here every morning, and the viewers would be very upset. But let's talk about your internal polling. What is it showing? Because, again, you see this 4-point spread a lot. I feel like it's the spread that shows up most on outside polling. What is your internal polling showing with you and Brown?
It's a tight race. I mean, we're right there. It's basically a toss-up right now. But, he's been on TV for months and months. We just started our TV ads probably about a month ago. Remember, I'm somebody who nobody knew. I mean, when I started this race, I was at 4% in the polls with a 4% margin of error. So there's a chance nobody knew who I was. So we fixed that name ID gap, and we're going to continue to campaign hard.
Yeah, and I was just in Columbus over the weekend, and this is not going to be news to you or anybody watching in Ohio, but just about every other commercial on TV is either an ad by your people or an attack ad against you. And a majority of the attack ads against you have to do with abortion. And you just made a comment that's received some criticism, where you said it was a little crazy how some women are single issue voters when it comes to abortion. Nikki Haley commented about that, criticizing that. So just want to give you an opportunity to respond to that.
Well, I mean, it is crazy that the media and the Democrats make women out to be single issue voters. It's just objectively not true. It's also demeaning to women. I think you look at it, women and say, do you care about the border? Of course they do, just like men. They care about inflation. They care about safety. They care about our schools. They certainly care about somebody like Kamala Harris and Sherrod Brown saying that biological men should be playing in women's sports. So they just use the issue of abortion, not because they care about women, but because they care about a political issue. And that's what I was pointing out.
Yeah.
Got about 20 seconds left. Trump is expected to win Ohio handily. Are there voters who are picking Trump and Sherrod Brown on the same ticket, or is there something else going on? Again, 20 seconds.
No, it's a name ID issue, but if they go on BernieMoreno.com, volunteer, throw in a few bucks, it's going to make a difference. That's how we're going to win this race. So we're just going to go out there and continue to do what we're doing, which is to introduce ourselves to Ohio.
And your Senator, J.D. Vance, is going to be in the debate tomorrow as well. So it's going to be a big day for Ohio all around. How do you think he's going to do?
He's going to absolutely crush it. He's a great guy.
All right, Bernie, thank you so much for joining us.
Is he going to dot the I?
Absolutely.
As all Ohioans do. Have a great day, everybody. Fox and Friends starts right now.
Bye-bye.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.